Well, hey, welcome to Hard Basis. I am Clint Allen, and today we've got a doozy for you. It just gets me mad as all hell. And I've got a friend who's just fallen on hard times, and I'll weave that story at the end for you. But let's get going on the intro here.
There's something wrong in this country telling people it is okay to work 3 jobs, not see your kids, not see your loved ones, not take a vacation, and God forbid you get sick, okay? And I still got a job at home because I'm a mother. Because let's not forget, I don't get a day off. And I got to figure all that out. How are we going to eat? How are we going to pay rent? How are we going to pay the utility bills? That every single thing went up after COVID. Not one thing stayed the same except salaries. The only thing that stayed the same in this country is the minimum wage. Even though everything else went up. There is no scarcity. It is how do we pit people against each other so they're too distracted to see everything that I'm too addicted to consuming and how much profit I'm making, and more profit, how many more houses one individual can have, how many yachts can one individual have. And you're gonna arrest me now that I make a tent city? Yeah. So if I take the scraps from the trash and make some kind of shelter for me and my children, regardless whether I have mental health issues, regardless whether I'm an addict, regardless of whether I am a female, male, whatever. I am a human being first. With what conscience are you criminalizing poverty?
Do you remember a few times when I believe somebody was coming from across seas over to California, and finally California went through and cleaned up all the streets and got all the homeless people off the streets? But to answer that question, how much is enough? How many yachts? How many cars? How many houses? How many billions of dollars is enough? It isn't. That isn't the way these people think. These people will sell their grandma for sex for a nickel. If they can make a nickel, they will sell their grandma. If they can own a whole harbor full of boats, they're already thinking about buying the next harbor and filling it with boats. It's never enough. Greed is never enough. Evil can never get enough.
This is the one that's supposed to be one of the richest countries in the world. And they can't, it's an embarrassment to say that we have this many homeless people. But here in the last 2, maybe 3 years, it's just widespread. It just hit so hard to now that you can't hide it. And it's not just families, you got older people that can't go anywhere. You got seniors that's living in, they're walking up and down that street out there every day, don't have somewhere to go.
The greatest country in the world. No, that needs to be changed. I am officially changing Make America Great Again and the greatest country in the world. I am officially changing that to the most corrupt, fraudulent country in the world. Period. Put that on a hat.
I'm 53 years old. I have no retirement. I have no benefits. I have nothing. So I'm still, I assume I'm going to end up like her one day too.
It's sad staring down the barrel of a shotgun of a society and a country that has literally shit on its peasants. These pricks sit in the office of Congress. They sit in the Senate. They sit in the House. They sit in the presidency. And I'm not talking about Republicans. I'm not talking about the Democrats. I am talking about our government as a whole. I don't care what name you give them. They are a bunch of corrupt sellers to the corporate man, period. You and I only have the illusion of making a choice. Makes no difference in this next election if Democrats get in. Makes no difference if the Republicans hold their chairs. Nothing is going to change. These worthless son of a bitches are going to bankrupt America and then run. It'll be everybody else's fault. Oh, picture the news now. Oh, the Republicans will be the Democrats, and the Democrats will be we're going through and blaming the Republicans. Oh, it'll be everybody else's fault. Hell, after COVID, when inflation started going through the roof, both sides, Democrat and Republican representatives, actually had the balls to blame the American public because they sent out a little tiny little bit of money. Just a little bit of money. This little mistake. It looks like a mistake error in accounting. They sent that out to us, so it was our fault. Not the trillions of dollars that they were spending, pissing away on programs and sending out across countries and wars and everything else underneath. No, it wasn't that. Christ, can't be. It's got to be the American public's fault. Oh, fuck, we had to do something for them. Now we're bankrupt. How dare they? How dare they make us do that for them?
My name is Terry. I'm 42 years old. I'm a consultant for a resort in Orlando. I've lived with my wife, children at this motel for a little over 2 years now. I don't know if there are classes anymore in America. Well, when the market burst and people found out that their houses were not worth what they thought they were, jobs disappeared, the illusion of security and stability weren't right with it.
And Terry managed to find a part-time job in a hotel complex for $8 an hour.
Ooh, oh my God, hold me down. We all go through trials and tribulations, and like I said, I'll tell you about my best friend's issues, trials, tribulations, and the absolute disgust, once again, in our government support system. I'll get to it in the end. He's not black, he's not Somalian, he's not illegal, he didn't cross the border illegal, so, he's effed. The point of the matter is that our government sold us out in so many ways to so many countries. And this situation right here may not be new, but you go from making a really good income to your job just being eliminated, gone. No such position available anymore. And you got to go out and get a $8 an hour job. The last time you filled up with fuel with this Iran war, that was his paycheck.
$1,800 children are currently growing up in the motels that surround Disney World. The school bus has had to change its route to come and collect the children, known in the school system as the Disney Motel Kids. They move from school to school as their parents are forced to find cheaper and cheaper accommodation.
Do we have to give everything a frickin' name here? I mean, really. Do we need to give everything a name? Does it make us feel better? Parents who've fallen on hard time and are in poverty and can't get help from our government. No, we can't do that. But we'll let millions of fraud go out the door. Can you imagine growing up in poverty And maybe you might think, hey, they're lucky. They've got a hotel to live in. You know, have you ever seen some of these hotels, especially in Florida and the hotter states? Yeah, tourists don't go to these, okay? They are shit dumps. They're the hugest, crappiest dumps they are. So the only way that these motels / whatever can survive is, you know, doing a weekly rental for $150, $200, $300 a week. And that's how they're surviving. And for that kind of money, you can't afford to maintain the place properly, so it slowly goes down the toilet, down the toilet, down the toilet.
This car park in San Diego, lent by a church, opens every day at 6 p.m. Nancy Vera, a volunteer, spends the night here 3 times a week.
We had like a nurse at one point, we had a teacher, we had a dental hygienist, you know, and so she was, I mean, they were used to making good money, like they were used to being comfortable. So that's why I say we do get some first-time homeless, and we don't have as many people moving out, so it is full, definitely. So we try to kind of work with what we have.
So imagine that, living out of your car. I challenge you right now, this coming weekend, I want you to grab a box or a duffel bag, go put some, you know, clothes into it, grab your dog, grab your cat, grab a couple boxes, put some food in it, go put it in your car, and go find some place to sleep overnight in that car. And in the morning, get up, make your food, take care of the animal, get a taste for it. I challenge you. You will see the world much differently. If you're watching this for humor, when you're done with that exercise, you will not be thinking that this is funny anymore. And hopefully you will be as pissed with our government as I am. With all this frickin' fraud, of all this giving money away by the millions and billions to people who cross that border illegally. And if you're one of those love-soaking Democrats, one of those liberals, we have laws. The frickin' laws need to be followed. All this corruption and money that has been pissed away in California, all the money that has been frauded in Minnesota, all this money that has been frauded in all these states, because it all hasn't been found. All these Social Security checks that have been handed out to people who are dead. All these votes that keep on happening in every election season of people who are dead. It is absolutely disgusting. We as a country as a whole should be ashamed of ourselves. But because we don't have any real leaders, we've been numbed down. And there is no more shame.
Everything fell apart.
A 39-year-old Bourbon County man who police say was brutally attacked by a man with a hatchet last night has died.
The man police have charged with the brutal attack is Daniel Carter. He told LEX 18 he was acting in self-defense.
Daniel says that one night a man who lived in another caravan near his came at him with a post and attacked him. He maintains that the man was drunk and ready to kill him. Daniel took a hatchet and fatally struck the other man. According to Daniel, it was the only way to save his life. 2 witnesses support his story. He's awaiting trial in a detention center in Kentucky.
So, which I did not include, but Daniel became homeless with his entire family, lost his job, became homeless, and they were living out on the street, and he was out working as a farm hand from farm to farm, as he was needed, and then handing the money off to the wife to take care of the family. Why did I include this in here? For the simple fact that he is white, and if he was black, if he was Somalian, if he was an illegal border crosser, he would have been let out from jail that night on some kind of soft bond, a handwritten bond. But no, he's in jail. This is the way our democratic states work. They just let the people who should not be let go and just let them walk out the door. And people who have testimony from other witnesses that said, yes, he's telling the truth. Well, by George, we gotta lock him up. God damn it, he's telling the truth. We can't allow that to happen. Holy crap. I am just disgusted with this country, disgusted with our government. And yes, we are not the only country that is free. Matter of fact, most countries, you have the freedom, the same type of freedom that we have. Go get a job if you want. Go start your own business if you want. Do whatever the heck you want. You've been lied to. The only difference is that those other countries are not surviving on fiat money that their government is spending faster than they can bring in from the tax base. Matter of fact, most of these countries, the cost of living is dirt cheap. So I promised you the friend story. Well, he's my lifelong friend, and I don't mean gay. I think we were friends since 3rd grade. I mean, that's a long time. So he diddled through life like everybody does. They try different jobs and finally settled on truck driving. And there's a lot of people that would say, well, truck driving is not a hard job. Well, it's a boring job to begin with. And when you're torpedoing on down the highway or the city streets with a huge semi-tractor with a 55-foot trailer, 53-foot trailer on, there's a lot of stuff that you need to watch. There's a lot of things that you need to do in order not to be smacking into people who people have just become piss poor drivers, that's for sure. And I'm not talking about truck drivers, I'm talking about the idiots on the road around the truck drivers. And the truck drivers don't make a ton of money either. They can earn, basic living wage. Nothing to get excited about, that's for sure. And there's another thing our government screwed up. There used to be company requirements and regulations from the government. There used to be rate minimums. There used to be guarantees and specific laws that, If a forwarding company hired another company, they had to pay them, which there's a lot of forwarding companies that restart up multiple times a year because they'll get a whole bunch of loads forwarded. They'll get paid from the particular person where it left from, and they don't pay anybody else, and they shut down, and they open up a couple weeks later underneath a different name. So what did our government do? They eliminated all that. Took away all the guarantees, all the laws, everything like that. Truck driving industry hasn't seen a per mile rate increase for so long that it's ridiculous. Everybody thinks you can still run down the road for $2.50. So he chose to be a truck driver. And of course, as we all get older, we all run into health problems. So one day he's taking a shipment down to a large city. Gets down there, is not feeling good, and ends up throwing up some blood. Tries to get out of the truck, almost passes out. Has enough time to call 911, give him the address. And by that time he was passed out, but the rescue squad got there, got him to the hospital. They did an up-down look inside and out. Couldn't really find out what it was. And kicked him out of the hospital. So, because he didn't have any health insurance. So I had said to him a couple weeks later, you know, does your company not offer health insurance? You are 60 years old. We're not 30 anymore. Bullets don't bounce off our chests. All those sins over all those years, that's when they start totaling up. And right now, they're totaling up on you. So he finally got health insurance, and surprisingly, the company health insurance was really good and not that expensive. So it was about a month after that. He's driving on down the road, not feeling good again. Coming out of a smaller city, he had about an hour before he got back to his terminal, and got halfway back and started throwing up blood multiple times all over the truck. Passes out, and thank God somebody stopped. I think it was a city road service, road repair. Called in the ambulance, stuff like that. They got him over to a decent hospital in a large city. Did a whole bunch of tests on him. Ended up, immediately taking him in for surgery. Had some kind of issue in the stomach. And they sewed him, stapled him on up, I believe is what had happened. Got him back running again, stable after about a week. And the end result is he's got stomach cancer. All right. So because when he got to the hospital the second time, he did have a seizure. He does have a heart issue, and he was having all kinds of problems with the heart not beating right and with the seizure and everything else. The doctor pulled his CDL. Rightfully so, okay? Can't be going down the road with a big old tractor trailer and passing out on the road and going through the middle of the road and killing a bunch of people. I'm right there, okay? So, of course, you know, his boss, per se, learns of the situation and says, you know, Tom, can't use you, don't want you to even to come back. So he goes through and tries to sign up for unemployment. Unemployment says, well, you weren't really fired. you're just, he's not going to bring you back because of your health situation. All right. So he can't get unemployment. Well, of course, his insurance is only good for 2 more weeks after this happened. So he'll be without insurance too. And of course, you know, that happens with an insurance. I'm sure the insurance company is, everybody in that level of insurance company is running up and down the hallway giving high fives that, man, when them 2 weeks are up, they don't have to cover anything, okay? Because insurance companies, of course, you know, they're in business not to pay out. And if they do pay out and they can't, you know, up your rate or triple your rate after they pay out, well, you know, you're useless to them. Job. So here he sits. No income. Has cancer. I took him in for his first exploratory surgery just to verify a week ago. And thank God the hospital, because I told him this, I says, you need to ask for the hospital's help. They have programs. They aren't going to come running down here because this is the way he is. You know, he figures everybody's like, well, they'll come down and talk to me and they'll get something worked out. Like, no, let's, you know, come into the real world here. They have programs, but you need to, you know, pursue it and ask. And if you're blowing off, you need to ask again. When you're blowing off again, you need to ask again. You need to, you know, keep on top of it. You're going to have to fight for this one. You know, he's not a lazy man, but he doesn't have much motivation either. So the hospital did get him signed up where at least his medicals were going to be taken care of. But it still leaves him with the fact that he's broke. He can't work. Even if he could work, even if he could go, you know, well, there's always cash register jobs. Okay. He's not fixed. He's got some major hurdles ahead of him with this cancer. And if he gets sick, if he could find a job at a cash register, which is, you know, not only going to pay him minimum wage, and it happens again, or he gets sick, or he doesn't feel well, I mean, every day he doesn't feel well. He gets up in the morning, maybe 3-4 hours, he's got to go back to sleep again for, you know, several hours, and then wake up and go through this, you know, several times a day. The body's beat up because the cancer, you know, when cancer grabs a hold, man, oh boy. So he can't get any help from any government agency. He was told that, well, you could sign up for, you know, SSI, or you could sign up for assistance, or you could sign up for this or that. And it'd you know, be about 2.5 years. That's if you get an attorney. If you don't, well, you know, you'll never get it, because that's the way it works. You know, when you got stuff that's verifiable, that number one, you can't work. You've dedicated your life to truck driving, let's say. Clearly, his old boss will not take him back. Well, where's our government? Why can this man not get help? No help whatsoever. But, you know, if he was black, if he was Somalian, if he was across the border illegally, there wouldn't be enough money they could throw at him. I mean, right now, if he was black, Somalian, cross the border illegally. Right now, the Democrats would be figuring out some way to get him some money, get him some support. You know, they'd write like a $388 million bill just for him. And they'd give him like, you know, $50 a week. And then the rest of it would disappear like normal. But the point is that he'd be getting something. I am just disgusted, absolutely disgusted at this country. It is not the greatest country in the world. Used to be. Not anymore.